All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you. I want to welcome everyone on board.
Morning.
Good morning. All right. So I'm sure you can all hear me and you can see my screen. So it's a brand new day. Today is the 13th of March, 2024. And we want to quickly look at the analysis, and look at our expectations for today in the Forex market. So good morning. Those dropping messages, Mr. Solomon, Shobande Wasiu, Ola Solomon. Good morning to everybody. So we don't have much fundamental event today, just two. We have one by 8 o'clock, which is roughly 40 minutes or 43 minutes from now. And that is the GDP, gross domestic product. Now, GDP is one of the major economic indicators in the forex market. So we'll quickly look at the details so that we know what it's all about. So GDP measures the change in the total value of all goods and services produced by the economy, and actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And later on in the afternoon by 6 p.m., though most of us should be out of the market by then, you have the USD news 30-year bond auction, which is the highest yield on the 30-year bond the government sold at auction and bid to cover issue of the auction. Effect, no consistent effects. There are both risk and growth implications. In fact, just stay out of this one because it's already written clearly that there is no consistent effect. So nothing like actual greater than forecast or actual less than forecast. Preferably don't even be in the market when it's coming up. So the only event for today, let me say the only tradable event for today is the GDP from the United Kingdom, which comes up by 8 o'clock this morning. Now, like I said, GDP is a major economic indicator and it usually really moves the market. So we shouldn't expect less this morning. We should expect some volatility, at least from the past experience with this particular news. If actual is greater than forecast, we'll be looking at buying the pound. That is, we're buying instruments where the pound is a major currency, like the GBP. We'll be more specific anyway, but then just generally, when I mean specific, I'll still look at the technicals, but then all the instruments with the pound, GBP USD, GBP JPY, GBP CAD, GBP New Zealand, and the rest. We'll be looking at buying them if the actual is greater than forecast. And if the actual is less than forecast, we're looking at selling those same instruments also. But that's just on the general note. We'll go to the technicals now to look at possible projections ahead of this meeting. Ahead of this event. Now, I want you to know the forecast is 0.2%. So if the actual is greater than forecast, that means if the data release comes out from 0.3% and above, then we'll be looking at buying the pound. And if the actual is 0.1% and below, we'll be looking at selling the pound. So let's flip over now to the technicals and look at projections ahead of this event. Now, I have 3 pound instruments that are looking that will have a technical setup on ahead of this event. And the first one is the GBP CHF. GBP CHF on the 4-hour time frame is looking bearish. If I go to the daily time frame or even the weekly, let me start with the weekly, you can clearly see that we have a downtrend. We have price, hitting the trend line and bouncing off from the third attempt here. And currently we're at the 4th attempt where we should expect a bounce also. That's on the weekly time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, you can see a rising wedge, and price already broke out of the rising wedge. That means the bearish, movement already started, and the RSI is clearly broke below 50, though it retraced. It's at 47 now, but then by and large, it's below 50, and MACD is below 0. So generally, this instrument is ready for a sell. The only thing is just that after the breakout, it experienced a retracement, and there may be a continuation further. It's in a bearish trend already. So, and another thing I can see here is that this instrument is also forming a shoulder, a head. We're looking to form a second trend line on the weekly time frame, the rising wedge on the 4-hour, and the possible head and shoulder. If the news today comes out by 8 o'clock, comes out not to favor the pound, then GBP CHF will make its way downwards itself. So technically, I hold a bearish bias on the GBP CHF. All things being equal, that's if the news comes out not to favor the pound. And we should also note that the neckline is still very valid, just somewhere around here. So if the news comes out not to favor the pound, then we should have a breakout downwards, while this is the head and the shoulder. So that's the outlook. And projections, proper projections on this. Please, for Fibonacci, if you still are not getting Fibonacci, go and watch the video on how to use Fibonacci on my YouTube channel. So we don't need to keep dragging on some of these things. The content is there. You watch it, you get it. And if you look at the Fibonacci currently, even the current price is ranging already around Fibonacci 23.6. And that tells us that if that level is not broken, we should expect a breakout, downwards. And if a breakout happens, the first level price will hit is Fibonacci 50. And from the current price, that should hit about 57 pips. And if it goes beyond that to Fibonacci 61.8, that can be as much as 80 pips. And if it's head and shoulder, it can really go beyond that. But then let's just have Fibonacci 50 and 61.8 in view, at the moment, with expectation that price will get to those levels. So I hold a bearish outlook on GBP CHF. But what if the news comes out to favor the pound? Well, if the news comes out to favor the pound, price could actually go up. But then, like I always say, that will be a short-term movement. The longer one is actually when it goes down. So personally, I'll be looking out for more of the long-term bearish breakouts on GBP CHF. And the second instrument I want to analyze for the upcoming news by 8 is the GBP CAD. I still hold a bearish outlook on this instrument. I'm still bearish on it. Yeah, we saw price broke out yesterday, but I think it was the news on the dollar, the CPI, that brought about the retracement. So currently price is testing the trend line. It happens. I don't know where we're discussing this. If price breaks a rising wedge, there's a probability price will retest the trend line before, breaking out downwards. So it's the retest that is happening currently. So again, if the news does not favor the pound, then GBP CAD will just drop from here downwards. The analysis of this is that for those who might have missed this instrument, when we analyzed it, it dates back to the weekly time frame, where on the weekly time frame we had resistance, and on the 4-hour we saw a rising wedge, all pointing to a bearish break. So price already broke out of the rising wedge, but it's retesting the trend line at the moment. So if the news comes out not to favor the pound, I expect a bearish breakout on GBP CAD. And you can see I've drawn the Fibonacci levels already. So from Fibonacci to Fibonacci 50 can give you close to, but that's even on the wide side. Let's start with Fibonacci 38.2. From the current price of Fibonacci 38.2 can give as much as about 70 pips. So Fibonacci 50 can give about 110 or 113 pips. And to 61.8 can give about 161 pips. So anyhow this one comes, as long as the news comes out not to favor the pound, you can enter a sell on GBP CAD. And if the news comes out to favor the pound, well, it will buy, but on the temporary note. So it could buy to hit this resistance, but ultimately to still fall down. So this is actually GDP. sometimes it may not really work with technicals, but if it works with the technical, it's a plus. It's a plus if it comes out in line with the technical. But personally, I'll be looking out for more of if the news, does not favor the pound, because that means I will have, it's a what do you call it now? We'll have this fundamental and the technical aligning together, giving us a confluence, which should lead to a bearish breakout. So technically, I'm bearish on GBP CAD. And the next instrument which I'll look at for this pound news is the Euro GBP. Now, most of the time, we really don't trade this instrument because it's just a variation between the euro and the pound. But then there are times when it's just there and there is a possibility for movement to be on it. If you go down to the weekly, you can clearly see we have a support level on the weekly time frame, which is confirmed on the daily. And now we have on the daily, we can actually clearly see that, price bounced off from that support zone. So for this one also, if the news comes out not to favor the pound, then Euro GBP will buy. If the news does not favor the pound, if the news does not favor the pound, you know that we expect GBP CHF and GBP CAD to sell. Euro GBP can simultaneously buy at that instance. So we may look out for a bullish opportunity on Euro GBP if the news does not favor the pound. And if the news favors the pound, price will actually drop to this support level. But the longer term movement is if the news does not favor the pound. So the choice is just if it favors and you feel like selling, if you're a scalper, you can cope with that. There's nothing bad in that. But then the longer term move is more sustainable compared to the short term move. All right, so that's it on the news this morning. In the afternoon, like I said, we don't have a tradable news on the dollar. So this is just the only fundamental event we have for today. Now, there are other technical setup which I have here, which I'll share with us in a minute, and should be done with this analysis. And the first one is the New Zealand JPY. Now, today seems to be the day for the JPY pairs because most of them seem to have a tradable setup on them. So let's look at the New Zealand JPY. Now, on the daily time frame, we can see the price on an uptrend on the New Zealand JPY. We have price make a lower low here, and you can see a bounce off from here, a bounce. And this is where price currently is. So technically, we expect a bounce again in the bullish direction. So now, I know some will ask me the question, how come we have a projection here? This actually is a fake out. This bullish candle is a fake out. It's not real. Let me put it that way. It's just a fake candle. You can see it doesn't have much effect. I don't know if you can see my line chart. Sometimes I use a line chart to filter out such kind of a move in the market. Now, so that's on the daily time frame. On the 1 hour, now let me remove this line. On the 1 hour, what you actually have, even going to 4 hours is still valid. What we have is a double bottom pattern on that trend line, which should lead to a bullish continuation. So this one, you can trade it either ways, either as a day trader or a swing trader. Both of them works for this setup. But then for the sake of those who are intraday traders, we'll go a step further by looking at the 1 hour. This is still the double bottom pattern, and we expect a breakout. We have a valid trend line up there. So we'll be looking to take a buy once price breaks the neckline of the double bottom and simultaneously breaks the trend line, that we also drew. So once price breaks above these two levels, it will be a clear indication that we can take a buy on New Zealand JPY. So I'm bullish on New Zealand JPY, and I can use my Fibonacci tool to also gauge both the entry and even the take profit levels. Now we can see that price is currently trading around Fibonacci 38.2, not exactly on it. So for me, I will wait for price for a clear candle to break out of this current line to trigger a buy. And you can set your take profit level on Fibonacci 61.50 is close by. So I'll be looking at setting take profit on Fibonacci 61.8 and 78.6. And that should give about 20 pips and about 40 pips for a bullish trade on New Zealand JPY. So I'm bullish biased on New Zealand JPY. And next is the CHF JPY. For CHF, okay, I'm sorry if I'm fast. So for those who might just be joining us, I'm bullish biased on the New Zealand JPY. And next is the CHF JPY. For CHF JPY, it's still the same kind of pattern. On the daily time frame, you can see price clearly on an uptrend. And price is currently here. So we expect a bullish cut and shoulder pattern, which should lead to a bullish time frame. So either you're a swing trader or a day trader, this works for you. We still have a valid inverse head and shoulder and a breakout. So we'll be looking to make entry once price breaks out, at least above this current most recent high. When we have a new price, a new candle above 168.34, it will be a time to trigger a buy on CHF JPY. And profit level using Fibonacci can target profit level on Fibonacci. To Fibonacci 50 can give as much as 49 pips. To Fibonacci 61.8 can give as much as 100 pips. So there's an expected volatility, very strong one on this instrument. So don't miss this opportunity to make profit on CHF JPY today. Once we have price. Yes, sir.
And please, you said that Fibonacci quarter was sir. Good morning, sir. You take profit for this instrument.
Fibonacci 50 and Fibonacci 61.8.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Sorry, sir. Sorry to break you.
No problem, ma'am. And still on the JPY PS, there's also a setup on CAD JPY. And it's still the same inverse head and shoulder, pattern. So that tells you that there's a sentiment on the JPY itself. So it means the Japanese yen is actually very, very weak. So that's, the sentiment is weak like that. Well, we are guaranteed to an extent that price will go in that direction. For the CAD JPY, if we start from the daily time frame, we will see that price hits a support level support. Here it was a resistance. So we have a key level and also a support here. So we have a level where the support turned resistance, many times. So we have a key level, and we also have an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which should lead to a bullish breakout. I think that should be the 4 hour. So you can still flip down to 1 hour. And this is the 1 hour side to the old setup. So it's still the same inverse head and shoulder. And we're expecting a breakout, in the bullish direction. So once price breaks above this minor resistance at 109.571, you can trigger a buy on CAD JPY. So I'm bullish on CAD JPY likewise. And finally, the last one is a swing setup. So if you're a swing trader, you have a setup to watch, and that is the Euro New Zealand. Like I said, this is for swing traders. So if you are not a swing trader, just take the CAD, the JPY PS, that's intraday setup. That's good enough for you. This one is for swing traders. So Euro New Zealand on the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that price, closed last week with a doji on the resistance, on the weekly resistance level. So technically, we were supposed to look for a bearish breakout this week because of that setup that closed last week. That's on the weekly. On the daily time frame, we can clearly see we have the formation of a head and a shoulder. Second shoulder is forming currently, and that should lead to a drop over there. And going down to 4 hour, this is what we have. Still the same thing. Shoulder, head. This region is the second shoulder, and we expect a breakout. So if you're there as a swing trader, you want to trade this, you can also look out for entry when price breaks. We can have a minor trend line here. If price breaks out the minor trend line, that can be an indication that it's time for you to trigger a sell. Currently, you can see that RSI is below 50, MACD is already below 0. So we're just waiting for this breakout here, and you can trigger a sell from there. And the profit potential of this setup will give, if entry is below Fibonacci 38.2, so Fibonacci 50 can give about 38 pips. So Fibonacci 61.8 can give 91 pips. And price will actually, if the volatility is strong, price could proceed to Fibonacci 70.6 at 160 pips. So if you're there as a swing trader, don't sleep on this. This is a very tradable setup for you to watch. All right, so that'll be all from my analysis this morning. If you have any specific instrument you want me to analyze, you can just go ahead and post it, and I will definitely analyze it for you. So you can just drop it in the comment section now, and I'll attend to you.
Good, sir. Good.
Okay.
Sir, it was good, sir. Good, sir.
Now, following the news from yesterday, the news came out to, I think it came out to favor the dollar. I told you I was bearish. I was bullish on the dollar and bearish on gold. So we can see we had a breakout downwards. If you follow my weekly outlook, I told you that I was bearish on gold, right from Monday. So the news came out in line with that expectation. And gold already hit the first profit level from analysis at about 173 pips yesterday. Now the question is, will it continue going downwards? Well, it all depends on many market. But then if I look at the closer look, sorry, that's the profit scanner scanning the market. I'm seeing the possible formation of a head and maybe a shoulder. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's still information. But what I believe will happen is that currently the market is on a range. If you check all the dollar pairs, all of them are just ranging. But if gold is able to break this current support level at Fibonacci 38.2, that's when you can think about a sell. Otherwise, I would just advise you wait for now. The trend is still bearish. It's a bearish trend, but you cannot enter a sell now until price breaks out below Fibonacci 38.2. That is when you can think about it. So you can see right from the weekly time frame, I have my trend line drawn. I have my trend line drawn, and price actually respected that yesterday. We have a bearish break. So the other thing that will happen is the formation of a head and shoulder, but until it forms, we just need to watch. And this is the neckline. This is the neckline in this region. So until price breaks this level, you just have to be on the sideline and wait to see what happens next. So for gold, just watch. Pending the time, we'll see any breakouts in the market. And somebody talked about NAS 100. That's Mr. Emmanuel. All right, I remember clearly telling us yesterday that we could end up with an inverse head and shoulder on NAS 100. That eventually happened. The news pushed it into that direction, though there was actually a spike here, which might have taken out any open trade. Well, sometimes this news come out with spike, so that's why you have to be very cautious about news trading. Now, currently, this is what we can see. You can see an uptrend. On NAS 100 also, we can't take any position now until price hits this resistance level. If price hits this resistance level, then we can look at the possibility of a sell from there. So until that happens, we just have to also watch. But then if price hits that level, the other thing I see that will happen is that we may end up having a head and shoulder pattern on that resistance level, which will actually, assist price in breaking out downwards. So all I would just say is just that you wait for price to hit this resistance level at 18332. Wait for price to hit that level, then look, we can come down to a 1 hour time frame after that. Okay, this is where we are now. So this is what I'm saying. Wait for price to go up and hit this level. We can still take it further by going to like 15 minutes. Let's see what's happening on 15 minutes. Okay, still on 15 minutes, it's still the same thing, still wait. And for the 15 minutes, the thing we can also do is to draw a trend line. All right. Well, then with the understanding that we're waiting for price to hit this level, then break out. So entry can be from somewhere around there after price has hit the resistance level. So just exercise patience and wait for the next thing on NAS 100. But I'm bearish on it, pending price hitting that resistance and falling downwards from there.
Thank you, Mr. Richard.
You're welcome, sir. And next is UK 100 for chicks. All right. Okay, so for UK 100, this is UK 100 on the daily time frame, and the price actually closed on a resistance level yesterday, a very valid resistance level. So today we're looking at a bearish breakout. I want to check further. Let's go to the weekly. Okay, so it's just the daily 3. As in, it's just it's hit it 3 times. Same thing on daily, same thing on weekly. That's perfect. So technically, we're looking for a bearish breakout today on UK 100. But don't forget, we'll have a news by 8 o'clock. So that will also impact upon this, trade, because it's still the same UK. Now, 1 hour, we really don't have anything clear on 1 hour, but if we go down to 15 minutes, we can see something that looks like not really a head and shoulder, but maybe I call it a triple top pattern. But then it's a bearish pattern. It's telling us that price is expected to break out. And if you watch the pound instruments we'll analyze for the news, we also have a bearish sentiment for the 2 of them. That's GBP CHF and GBP CAD. So this one is also in the same category. So if the news, now you can see that price is already facing downwards. This is a triple top back pattern, a triple top. 1, 2, and 3. So if the news comes out not to favor the pound, then we will see a bearish breakout on UK 100. So I'm bearish biased on UK 100. So the person that asked this, I just hope you are taking notes. And projection for this using Fibonacci, you can see price may proceed after the breakout, just any random level. At least price will get to Fibonacci 23.6 at about that should be 187 or 18.7. I'm not too familiar with this. At least something reasonable. Can proceed to Fibonacci 38.2. That should be at least on the minimum. That should give about 44 pips, and to Fibonacci 50 can give about 65 pips, thereabouts. So I hold a bearish outlook on UK 100.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Please, sir, I'm slightly confused. From Forex Factory here, it shows that the news on GPP is 7 a.m., took place around 7 a.m. And from what you are saying,
it has not taken place, sir. It's 8 a.m. You need to reset your Forex Factory page. I'm on Forex Factory now, and you can see now. Let me refresh my page. Now you can see my current time, which is the same as the time on my watch, is 7:38 a.m. Let me use the blue pencil line. You can see that the time here is 7:38 a.m. If you check my screen, if you look at my laptop clock here, is 7:38. So my time is synchronized with the site, and the time for the news is 8 a.m. So if you can do the same for if the time on your Forex Factory and the time on your phone or your laptop is not the same, then that means if there's a difference of 1 hour, then that means you need to reset your Forex Factory page. Okay. And it looks like quite a number of people are having this issue. I actually promised someone yesterday that I would do a video on that. Maybe I have to get it done today because it seems many people are having this issue. You need to synchronize your time so that you can be on the same page with the global timing.
Oh, okay, thank you, sir. Which means it's also applicable to other news.
Yes, it is.
Like news that will be coming up tomorrow.
Yes, it's applicable.
That means I'm from my own setting, I'm 1 hour behind.
Yes, you're 1 hour behind, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Gold, we have looked at gold for those asking about gold. Ernest Lawrence, please, Ernest, because of time, you can just go back to my YouTube channel. You can watch the entire video, what we did, so that I can get a recap. We can't go back through everything. That's why I stream live on YouTube. So if eventually you come in late, just go to my YouTube channel. The video is there. You can watch it, just exactly as we have done. If you don't have my YouTube handle, just take it here. It's Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale. So just go to YouTube page, to youtube.com and type Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale. Then you see my page there, my channel, and you see the video for today, under the live section. But then it's going to be the first video on the screen, so you can watch the analysis from there. Okay, somebody is asking another question. Good morning, sir. Please, I have a question on time. What time does Asian range start and end, and London start and close? Okay, somebody was asking the same question on my YouTube channel, which I responded to. So I don't know if it's still the same person. Now, on the Forex, okay, not Forex actually. Now there is the market session. There is an Asian session which starts from 1 a.m. to 10 a.m. And there is a London session that starts from 8 a.m. I want to trade the news, sir. And that's 8 o'clock. Just calm down. 8 o'clock, that's when we have the news. It's not a time for news. Let me attend to. That's for Ernest Lawrence. So I'm talking to Emmanuel Uduma now. So Asian session starts from 1 a.m. to 10 a.m. and London session starts from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So the tradable period is usually the when we have the overlap between the Asian session and the London session, which is between 8 and 10 a.m. Now, the person is asking, what time does Asian range start and end? Asian range is the most part of the night still when you have the morning. So we really don't look at Asian range like that. Normally, Asian session, ranges most of the time, except when there is a news. That is, you may wake up Nigerian time, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, it's in the range. But the main range is when there is an overlap, as in when you have the breakout by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. That's when you have a breakout between Asian session and London session. Otherwise, before that 7 o'clock, Asian session is in the range. So if you're talking about Asian range, you can talk about between 5 and 7 a.m. Yes, that period is like a range for the Asian session until the London session starts, where you now have a massive breakout. So I hope that answered your question. So let's just take it from 5 to like 7 a.m. Nigerian time. God's Will is asking about BTC. Okay, so let's go back to the MT4. Okay, so I'm on MT4. Let me quickly find the BTC USD. All right, so I remember telling us clearly on Monday that BTC was, at a point where we could end up with a breakout downwards, or price could break out, above the resistance zone in the bullish direction. So we had, this is what I said as a Monday, or if price breaks out above this box, that rectangle, that zone, then we'll have a bullish breakout. But that is actually what now happened. Price, I think I remember telling us that if you are to take a buy on the BTC, you need to wait for price to drop to the old support, then continue from there. So, and that seems to be what is happening in the market at the moment. Now, price is back at a minor resistance level. So now two things could happen here. Again, we could end up with a double top, which could see price down, or price could break above this current level and the bullish movement continues. So it could be either ways, just to watch out for the one that happens again. I don't know if that person got what I said. If price breaks out above this level, the bullish, but the thing is that it looks like BTC is really in a very bullish momentum at the moment. So if price breaks out above this current minor resistance, it will be a buy. And otherwise, we may end up with a double top where price can break out downwards. Both of them will happen. But like I said, the market seems to be already on a bullish trend. So this may be more favorable, except there's a change in market dynamics, because price is currently trading at 72,000 per BTC. And I think that is the highest BTC has ever done, ever. It has broken above that 68,000 resistance, major resistance. It has broken above it. So a bullish continuation is more likely, except, I said the big boys decide to push the price down. There are some big boys that influence this thing. People like Elon Musk and his friends, they want to do some things. I know that, they could, anything will happen, but the trend is more favorable to the bullish direction. And if you flip down to 1 hour time frame, you can see it clearly. We are actually at a resistance. So we will have a breakout downwards or a breakout upwards. And even if it's breaking out upwards, it will still be advisable also if after the breakout, we can have a retest, then we can have a continuation from there. So that's all I can say about BTC for now. So we will have a breakout downwards or a breakout upwards. And even if it's breaking out upwards, it will still be advisable also if after the breakout, we can have a continuation from there. So that's all I can say about BTC for now. So we will have a breakout downwards or a breakout upwards. And even if it's breaking out upwards, it will still be advisable also if after the breakout, we can have a continuation from there. So that's all I can say about BTC for now.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Let me talk about, sir, I have the profit scanner on my laptop. Is there any video to watch to understand how it works? Not sure if there's any video, but then we can always get something for you. Just reach out to me privately. We'll get that sorted out. So that's what Temitope. And you know how to reach me, the WhatsApp group where you got the link to this Zoom class. I'm the one that posted there this morning. Just reach out to me through that WhatsApp number. I'll attend to you. Please, sir, Ola Solomon, I need more light on AUD card. Okay, we're rounding up now. I'll just take this one and maybe one other request, and we should end the analysis. AUD card, let's go there. So okay, so this is AUD card. Let's do now. Don't always forget that what we do is called top-down analysis, looking at the trend on the bigger time frame and scaling down to a lower time frame to look for entry. So don't forget that's what we do is called top-down analysis. Now I'm starting from the weekly time frame. I can clearly draw a trend line that connects, price at different times on the weekly time frame. So I see that we have that perfect trend line. Now, don't always force the trend line. If it's not working, just let it go. So technically, I expect a bearish movement. That's on the weekly. Okay, it's not really aligning on the daily. You can always drag it a little so that it can touch. So we're still very much okay. So that's the daily. And on the 1 hour, I remember telling us yesterday that what I was seeing was a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and a breakout. Now, the second shoulder actually formed, but the news distorted it. I said sometimes market structure may change, but then it doesn't mean that the direction will change in some instances anyway. So I believe this will still sell. I believe it's still going to sell, even though this shoulder is now way bigger than this one. But then this is price we're dealing with, not a human being, So what could happen is this: we still need to wait for price to break the neckline. So this is still the neckline. So if price breaks out below the neckline, it is still a sell. But don't say, okay, to eventually get there, you now enter a sell here. No, I did not say you enter a sell now. Wait for price to break out below 88979. Wait for a clear candle to break out below that level. Then you now enter a sell. And I believe from there, you can ride the trend downwards. And using your Fibonacci, you can. In fact, you may even decide to use the sell stop order on Fibonacci 38.2. You can watch the video on my YouTube channel, how to do all that. So that can, to Fibonacci 50 can give you about 16 pips, and to Fibonacci 61.8 can give you about 32 pips. 15, 32, that's close to about 15 pips there, which is not bad. So I hold a bearish outlook on AUD card. Okay, I think that's all. So I think we've come to the end of this analysis. You can reach out to me, if you have any issues. You can also watch my videos on my YouTube channel. I'm dropping more videos, more content. Yeah, for those who have specific videos that you want me to drop, I'm already working on them. They will come up on the channel very soon. It's an educative channel where you can learn about Forex trading and generally about how I personally analyze and trade the market. All right,
Hello,
take care.
a quick one, sir. You promised a video on Fibonacci on your YouTube. You are here to send it.
It's already there, sir. It's been there since Monday or so, or even last week. Fibonacci video is there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Just search for it. It's there. Yeah, I think it's titled Fibonacci, Simple Fibonacci Strategies. Yeah, that's the title. It's already there on my page. Yeah. Shade's FX, about the Telegram group, I sent you a message. I'm yet to get a response. Please, if you send a message and I don't respond, kindly send it again. The thing is that I could be busy, but it's not really an excuse. And sometimes I get a lot of messages. So if sometimes some of those things may skip my sight, it's not like I'm trying to ignore you. So if you sent, I've not responded, I apologize. Send a fresh one, and I'll surely attend to you. All right. So I'll be expecting to hear from you, Shadi Zavix. Okay. Take care, everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
You have a nice day.
You too.